This bill will make unlimited rent increases illegal. It caps rent increases, so they simply cannot rise faster than wages.
We need to introduce this bill today because of the pain that rising rents are inflicting on Victorian renters from all walks of life.
1 in 3 Victorian households now rents. That is not a niche issue.
Everyone deserves a home they can afford. That should not depend on luck, on family wealth, or on navigating a rigged system. But right now, that is exactly what is happening. Wages have stagnated while rents continue to rise.
As house prices and rents soar, property investors are flourishing while renters struggle to make ends meet. This is trickle-up economics. We need to introduce the Greens rent control bill today because successive governments have created a system that punches down on renters and allows landlords to hike rents far beyond what is affordable.
The rental crisis doesn't just hurt individual renters. It actually hurts the entire community and it hurts the economy, because every rent increase is $1 that can't be spent at the local cafe or at the footy or at the local shoe shop buying school shoes for the kids. Instead, it's $1 that goes straight into a landlord's pocket, and research shows that that money is far less likely to flow back into our local shopping strips and communities.
For many renters, it's not a question of if the rents will go up, it's by how much and whether they can survive it. Will they have to skip meals? Will they have to put off seeing the doctor? Will they have to pull their kids out of school, pack up and leave their home?
A recent ACOS survey found that half of renters had already gone without food or medicine to pay their energy bills. There are 0 properties in all of Victoria considered affordable for a single person on a Centrelink benefit. 0. Every year a landlord raises rent above wages is another year that wealth is transferred from those with less to those with more.
Melbourne, especially inner Melbourne, is at risk of becoming a city without young people, a city without artists, a city where nurses, where cleaners, where baristas cannot afford to live anywhere near where they were.
Our current unfair system does not just make renting unaffordable, it makes home ownership a fantasy. When there's nothing left over after rent, Victorian renters simply can't save.
The rental crisis is a political choice, and without rent controls, wealth will continue to concentrate in the hands of those who already own properties.
Rent controls work, and we can adopt one of these models here in Victoria to make sure that people can actually afford the roof over their head. There is no reason why Labor could not do this tomorrow if they had the guts.
Well, we know it's an election year when the Greens start using words like rigged and urgent. Well, anything when it comes to the Greens is urgent because they're a party running out of ideas. We will not be lectured by the Greens, who have a substantive record of standing in the way not only of Victorians but vulnerable Victorians, including young Victorians. Green voters peddling false information that time and time again they are called out here in this place. The only problem is we can't put it on social media because the Greens never turn up to Parliament. Those opposite, the Greens party, provided their own little bit of misinformation recently, claiming that it was their idea for free public transport during a fuel emergency and crisis.
The bill that is being sought to be introduced is exactly the same as the bill that the Greens introduced to the upper house 2 years ago. And for that reason, I believe that this is a stunt. I did some Googling this morning, Speaker, and one of the things I've been really concerned about is the way the Greens political party are actively scaring people in public housing. They are running around telling public housing tenants that they will be homeless instead of building new livable homes for those communities.
And I know, again, members who've helped and supported renters in their electorates will know that a really tragic thing and a tough thing you sometimes see is that someone has had the benefit of a of a pretty good and cheap rental rate. They've had a property that they might be renting in Reservoir for only $100 a week or something is a good rate. Suddenly they get a new landlord or the property changes hands and it does jump up by a lot. And there's a certain argument, oh, it's only just jumping up to the market rate that others in that street are paying. But we have now introduced these important changes to minimise that shock and to really do exactly what it is that I think the Greens bill is intending to do.
The question is that the member for Richmond introduce this bill. All of that opinion say aye. Contrary, no. I think the noes have it.
As a renter, I felt really disrespected and unrepresented by the way that the Labor parliamentarians were speaking in the chamber.
And it's just really something to give renters a fair go, and it's really disappointing to see it shot down by Labor. And to be honest, their behaviour and some of their comments they made there were really disheartening and really insulting towards renters who they knew were sitting there.
Every year, when it comes to my end of lease time, I'm stressed out and I'm freaking out about the reality that my rent is likely to be increased, not for any reason, not because anything's changed in my property, not because I'm earning more. Obviously, rents aren't in line with wages, but just because they know they can do it.
So I think the most telling thing whilst being in the chamber was seeing the mistruths that are peddled by the Labor Party. The fact that the member for Preston says that you can rent somewhere in Preston for $100 a week. I'd love to see that.
If Labor was actually really serious about taking action to ensure that people in Victoria, ordinary working Victorians, can afford to rent their own home while they're saving to buy a home, they would have taken action by now. They have not. And we have just seen them vote against the Greens bill to take action that would make a real difference right now.
Rents are rising much faster than wages and people are finding it harder and harder to afford the rent. So Labor can sit there and talk about all the things that they've done, or they can actually look at the current reality for people who are renting and take action to make the situation better.